Hello, Virtual English 2 students. I'm just popping on here to tell you I updated the 250 word prompt thing with a couple examples that I personally wrote earlier today. Each class I sat down and while we were in class, I wrote a 250 word thing, not over Wyatt Walker because I don't want you just to regurgitate my thoughts and ideas. I want to hear your thoughts and ideas about the piece, not my ideas being parroted back to me. I'm not that narcissistic. But I did write 3 of them. One of them was over a book I'm currently reading called Ready Player 2. The other 2 were over Marinas Bargain by Malcolm Gladwell, which we read earlier in the year. And then another thing we read when we were in quarantine or when we were doing completely virtual school, The Snakes Are About. So I'm going to read each of these 250 word ones so you can get an idea of what exactly I am looking for. You can use these to help you emulate your own 250 word thing. Because all I want to know is just your thoughts. That's all this is like, that's the key thing is like, just tell me your thoughts. I don't want you to tell me this happened, then this happened, and this happened, and this happened. No, like, tell me what you think. So we'll start off with Ready Player 2. So here's the one I wrote over Ready Player 2. It ended up being about 298 words. Most of the time, sequels are disappointing. They water down a property that you enjoyed just simply for a quick cash grab. Ready Player 2, the sequel to my favorite novel from 2011, does exactly this. The universe that Ernest Cline created has enough syrup in it to make the sequel palatable. However, if Cline tries to return this well a third go around, that creeping taste of water will probably be overwhelmed. Right off the bat, Cline overly relies on pop culture allusions. While that is a fun feature of the first novel, it isn't the main piece of content being featured. The first third of Ready Player 2 is nothing but fillers that takes us from one pop culture reference to the next. What could be constituted as a plot finally emerges, the quality of the writing immediately picks up. However, many readers may tune out way before this point because Cline's lazily relying on pop culture. As previously mentioned, once the plot emerges, the book high quality page turner adventure story. New technology allows a rogue AI to hold people captive unless the heroes complete a quest. The later half of the plot synopsis might be a carbon copy of Ready Player One's plot, but Cline knows how to deliver when it comes to that specific hit. Throughout the novel, Cline explores the dangers of clinging to nostalgia, and the very reading of this novel is kind of an exercise in this theme. While we don't want something near and dear to our from our past to change, not doing so will leave us as a society stuck and stagnant. What is new might suck, but at least is progress, and progress is the key to keeping society moving forward. So that was my just kind of 250 word synopsis of that. Let me move my thing. There we go. That was my 250 word synopsis of Ready Player 2. Now here is going to be one over either T.H. White or Marinas Bargain. And it looks like it's Marinas Bargain. So this is Malcolm Gladwell's Marinas Bargain. It's 250 words. I end up getting, y'all can see it, but I can't, 303. This bargain Gladwell welcomes explores the warped and broken nature in which we view education. I have taught this excerpt for many years, and each time several students have a minor freak out when Gladwell begins to attack their beloved summer vacation. This shouldn't be much of a surprise considering that the students are considering an additional 20 to 40 days of school would be more of what they already experience. A brisk and prison-like march through topic after topic in every class. What these students fail to see is the part immediately after the takedown of summer vacation, discussing how instruction inside the classroom changes. Lessons no longer have to be rigid and brisk since there's more time to get through material. As we peek into different classrooms at the KIPP Academy, we see how relaxed the instruction is. The instructor isn't forced to put in place a sink or swim approach to teaching. He can make sure that even his weaker swimmers are keeping up. Now, Gladwell does put an extra emphasis on the amount of homework that the students are doing, but the shock of the amount of homework overshadows the amount of time in class they spend working on understanding this work. Even teaching in a school that isn't considered as rigorous as the KIPP Academy, I know a handful of high-achieving students whose own schedules mirror that of Marita's in her class. School evolves, and it's only been a mere 14 years since I was a student in a public school. And in that short time, school has drastically evolved, sometimes for the worse, but mostly for the better. If we were to coup de grace antiquated summer vacation, school would be provided their opportunity to evolve for the better. All right, that was that one. And then my final one is Over Snakes Are About, which a lot of y'all didn't read or y'all plagiarized because, y'all are that way. So here's the 250 word thing Over the Snakes Are About. Snakes Are About by T.H. White is the old cliche of not judging a book's cover. White discusses in detail something that most people find scary and off-putting, snakes. Both religion and popular culture can be to blame for this fear that we have of the reptile species. But White isn't dealing with the deadly king cobras, giant pythons. White instead is informing us of your harmless, friendly neighborhood garden snake. White tries not to treat these animals as pets. He even says that it would be quote unquote demeaning to both him and the snakes if he was to do so. Instead at the beginning, White treats these snakes much like zoo animals. He releases them in his study and watches how they cope with the unnatural habitat. With observation, we gain insight just how safe these creatures are. All they really want to do is just eat pests, lay around in sunny spots, and procreate. At the end of this, we get to see the two-sided nature of applying this idea to our own lives. He gets close to some of the snakes. He attempts to baptize one of the snakes and even names a different snake, Matilda. Both of these happen because White has lost his fear of the animals due to his frequent encounters with them, thanks to him not judging a book by its cover. However, on the flip end of this, not everyone is at this stage with snake acceptance as he is, and the piece ends with White finding Matilda murdered by another one of his fellow human beings, judging a book by its cover. There you go. So that's just 200. Like each one of those was just me talking about what I thought. This is my opinion. This is what I think about this story. This is what I took away from this story. And that's all I'm asking you to do with the Wyatt Walker piece. Just tell me your thoughts. Share me your opinion. Share with me what you thought. All right. So I look forward to reading them. They're due Sunday, and I'll upload these examples on Classroom so you could use them as mentor text. All right. That's all I got for you. Later. Bye. Have a good weekend.